Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are within this lovely world. My name is Ja-Nae Duane. I am Holy Cross's Entrepreneur in Residence and head of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program within the Ciocca Center for Business Ethics and Society. We welcome you to our Spring 2021 Innovation Challenge, which the theme this semester is creating community during COVID. And I want to tell you that we have some exciting ideas coming your way. This Innovation Challenge has very much been a collaboration across campus. And there are many people who have been involved in bringing today to you and as a reality for us to find new ways to create community during COVID. And so with that, I just want to say a few thank yous to our student groups who have been diligent about getting this going. HC Launch, Crusaders, and the Green Fund, to members of the Ciocca Center for all their help, Student Affairs, the JD Power Center for sponsoring, along with the Math and Computer Science departments for sponsoring, the President's Office, the Office for Marketing and Communications, ITS, which Jim and Luigi have been tremendous, and the countless number of people that I cannot even begin to thank who have really volunteered a tremendous amount of time to bring you this event today. So a little bit about the event. The objective, as I mentioned, is to find ways for students to connect with one another and create community during COVID. What you may also see are ideas around creating systemic change here on campus, because that is part of the mission of these innovation challenges. Of the ideas that you will see today, we started off with 19 teams on Thursday, and we have ended up with 11 who will be presenting today. There will be a 5-minute presentation from each team, and then that will be followed by a 2-minute Q&A with judges. For the prizes for this event, we have a prize of $1,000 for first prize. Second prize is $750. Third prize is $500. And then we have a prize that the audience gets to vote on, which is the Most Creative Idea Award, and that is $250. And so the voting for that will occur during judge deliberation. And with that, I would like to turn it over to our judges to introduce themselves. And with that, Michelle Murray, would you begin?
Sure, happy to. Thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here. I'm very excited to hear all the students' ideas. My name is Michelle Murray, and you all know me as the Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students.
Fantastic. Cheryl Martin, would you like to go next?
Sure, Cheryl Martin. I'm on the Board of Trustees, class of '84, and I am super excited to see what you all have to show us. I do a lot of business plan judging, but I've never done one quite like this before. So super excited to be part of this with you guys.
Will, how about you?
Will Dutrone, class of 2015, now a current Columbia Business School student. Very, very excited to see everyone's ideas today.
James Keys, how about you?
Hi, I'm Jim, also Holy Cross grad, and glad to be here helping out, and as well a member of the Board of Trustees, and just looking forward to hearing some of the great pitches.
Great. Noah, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you. My name is Noah Sisk. I'm a senior at the college, political science and history major, and I'm here today for my role as SGA co-president. Super excited to see what comes out today.
And finally, Victoria.
Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here as well. My name is Victoria Terra. I'm a senior as well, a political science and sociology double major, and I'm also serving as one of the SGA co-presidents this year.
Fantastic. Well, I'm very excited to have such a great group of judges, and we were talking earlier, they're excited to see your ideas. So with that, I would like to get the pitches kicked off. And so I'd ask Fabiola and Victoria if they will get us going.
Hi, yes, let's go ahead and share our screen and we'll begin. Hi, so again, I'm Fabiola.
And I'm Victoria.
And this is our first time participating in any innovation challenge, but here we go.
So this is sort of a rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. First, we're going to address the problem, solution, and then our proposal and the logistics that go along with it and how we could carry this out.
So what's the problem? Due to COVID-19 restrictions, socializing, building relationships, and furthering a sense of community here at HC has been hard. And why is the solution needed? Well, the pandemic has tested our patience, our compassion, and has strained our in-person unity. So a solution, we know that students want to socialize at HC and that they're aware of the protocols needed to follow to keep everyone safe. Therefore, we wanted to provide a sense of unity through our event proposal. We believe it is a unique experience and a great way to bring everyone together while not compromising their health.
So our proposal, we propose to host an outdoor movie night, and this would be open for immediate implementation. It meets COVID guidelines, and since it will be an outdoors event, we would be able to host more guests and also incorporate food items. Of course, it's open to all students, but it can be tailored to a specific organization, a class year, or a specific residence hall. And most importantly, it also meets our $10,000 budget. In terms of logistics, we propose a freshman field due to its space and capacity capabilities. The movie screening equipment would change the capacity level, but at the moment, given state guidelines, Holy Cross will be able to have 150 students in one place while socially distancing and wearing masks. And we also spoke to Chris from OSI, and he mentioned that during COVID world, the number of students able to meet if outdoor would be 150. So that's what we would go for. And marketing and registering attendees as a campus and for the events hosted so far at Holy Cross, the MyHC platform has been used to market and register students that want to attend an event. So we will continue to use this for this event, and of course also use HC Clear to make sure everyone is cleared before entering. And for choosing a movie, the planning committee would choose a popular movie, or we can also distribute a Google form to assess the genre or the movie students are interested in watching.
So in terms of seating, we would tell the students to bring their own blanket, hence our acronym. And we will be providing our personalized HC blanket as a gift. And then in terms of food, but like we mentioned, since it will be outdoor, we'll be able to have food. And we were looking at food trucks such as the Cookie Monster and the Minuteman kettle corn, since you need treats when you watch a movie. And to follow the protocols, they will all be distributed in sealed packages. And in terms of lighting, we know that the freshman field lacks a little bit of lighting. So to create ambiance and a nostalgic feel, we would be incorporating tiki torches, for example, which won't disrupt the movie visuals, but again, will create a nice environment. And we would work with OSI to make sure that this does not cause any hazards. And then moving on, this is kind of a breakdown of our budget. And this leaves us with about $5,000 to $6,000. And then our plan B, since we can't control the weather, being that it's outdoor, but we can still make sure that we follow all the other guidelines, we could be moving this event into the silos, which would lead us to 48 people or 48 students attendance, no food. We could have either one screening or multiple screenings. We could either move it to the Hogan Ballroom, which again increases the amount of students we can have, but no food, or simply reschedule for a later date.
And these are our next steps that we would take. If our event gets approved, then we would just move on to solidifying details, and contacting vendors, confirming details, and obviously announcing it to the students and hosting the event.
And that is all that we have. Thank you so much.
Great. Questions from judges?
Yes.
I just had a question. The venues, the alternative venues in case of weather, have you considered the practice field?
We did, however, we didn't know the number of students we would be able to host there. And but yes, we did. We completely did not discard it. This is just the information that we were able to receive.
Mhm.
Great. Any other questions?
Yeah, and so I think you covered a little bit of this, but would it be like a ticket first come, first serve kind of basis, or would you be trying to serve different groups of people on like a rotational basis?
So far, from the events that just occurred, such as the Winter Festival, I know it was on a first come, first serve basis. So that's kind of how we would be using that system as well.
Great. Fabiola and Victoria, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Sasha and Nick.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Can you guys see that? Awesome.
Yes.
All right, Sasha, all set.
Hi, my name is Sasha Paradise.
And my name is Nick Bettenhauser, and we are here to suggest Fresh Fest. As many of you know, like us, all the current freshmen had their second semester of senior year taken away. Additionally, our first semester of college was fully remote, which has left us with only one semester to actually meet people in person.
Nick and I actually met in a Calc 2 breakout room, which was a less than ideal place to make friends. Now, having lost almost a year of making those so-called iconic college memories and lifelong friendships, we seek to bring a new Holy Cross connection opportunity with Fresh Fest, a day of safe socializing outside. We would now like to show you a digital diagram of our event plan.
So as you guys saw in the video, our detailed plan demonstrates the COVID and spacing possibilities of Fresh Fest. I'll now hand it off to Sasha to take you through the day.
Our event will be on a Saturday in late April on the football practice field. We've planned 3 different time slots with different events to draw the entirety of the freshman class while allowing for proper occupancy and cleaning. From 1 to 3, we will feature the Dogfather food truck with a new kitchen gift card giveaway. The second slot, from 3 to 5, will not be featuring any food trucks, but instead will have competition, trivia, and a cornhole tournament with various prizes shown. In the evening, from 5 to 8, we project the most demand as we will have a Petrano's food truck, insomnia cookies, and more giveaways. We are also looking into the possibility of having fire pits, but this will be determined by permits from the fire department. I'll now pass it off to Nick to take you through the financials.
Thanks, Sasha. So with our $10,000 budget, we managed to project the cost of around $6,000 by contacting each vendor and getting quotes. And we stayed under budget with around $4,000 left over, and that left us with enough wiggle room if we need to adjust. Additionally, OSI has generally offered their support for our event, including the supply of outdoor games, supervision, and additional financial support if needed. We also plan to enlist the help of Officer Gracie to further incentivize students.
So into our selling points. Our first and foremost is that the Fresh Fest is COVID safe. The diagram we made is a full-scale representation of the football practice field, which we plan to hold this event, and everything is measured with the proper social distances. The blue circles represent the 6 feet needed to socially distance from each other, and as you can see, there is more than enough room. Students will sign up via MyHC, and only students in the testing protocol in HD Clear will be admitted to attendance. This will be safely monitored at the entrance. Our second selling point is that this is a fun summer kickoff. Freshmen haven't had the proper opportunity to be outside with each other in the nice weather, as our arrival was in January. The weather, food, activities, and giveaways will excite students as they further connect with each other one last time before leaving campus for the summer.
So additionally, we thought it would be a good idea to test the excitement of the freshman class. So we took the initiative and interviewed some of our peers, and every response was filled with curiosity, and we are proud to say a guaranteed yes. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope for your full support for Fresh Fest.
We would love to see this come true and will now take any questions.
Thank you. Questions from judges? Cheryl, please.
Great presentation, thank you. How are you thinking about engaging the class? Like how many, and how will you control demand per each event?
Yeah, so each time slot we have, per Massachusetts guidelines, there will be 150 people max allowed throughout each time slot. So we're gonna try to make that like 150 people on that first time slot, 150 for the middle one, and so on and so forth. And that's just and we're gonna have cleaning periods in between to make sure that everything is totally sanitized for when the next group comes in.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions from judges? Oh, yeah, sure. If you have another one, please.
Do you have, does the system that allows signups allow you to encourage, you get all 3 sessions with different students, or could people sign up for multiple times? What are you thinking about the ideal mix here?
I think either one is possible, just depending on people's schedules and what they're interested in. There's no like strict, like we have to get everyone in. It's just more like a free thing, and whatever you're attracted to, you can go to.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
Sasha and Nick, thank you so much. Thomas and Jack, you are next.
Let me share the screen. How's it going, panelists and judges? My name's Thomas Keene. I'm a freshman, and
I'm John McDonald. I'm also a freshman. We are residents in Brooks Hall. We're currently standing outside of Brooks Hall in the area that we identified to be a location for our outdoor activities campaign. So the problem we identified on campus, and we sent out a survey to Brooks 3rd floor west residents, and of the survey, 40% of the people indicated that there are no safe activities to do on the weekend, and that they lack a safe place to gather outside. Rather than having students go off campus every weekend to go to restaurants and other places that are easier to spread coronavirus, we identified having people outside in a safe gathering spot outside the dorms and in grass areas where it's safer and they can be socially distanced.
so we propose launching a campaign that's #HC Outdoors. So we're going to begin this campaign with a kickoff event at the Hovel with music, food trucks, and s'mores. As a part of the first step of the campaign, we're going to have a launch of permanent changes. So Adirondack chairs, fire pits, outdoor lawn games, and the establishment of the #HC Outdoor Activities Committee that each weekend is going to plan fun, safe outdoor activities for Holy Cross students to attend to.
And rather than just one event, the kickoff event on a specific Saturday we will identify, it'll be a permanent change where students can gather outside their dining halls and in grass areas and be socially distanced as long as the weather stays nice. So our locations that we identified for the hashtag HC Outdoors campaign is the grass area outside of Hogan and the Hovel, the grass area outside of the dorms Figgy, Brooks, Clark, and Hansman. We are currently standing in the location outside Brooks Hall where we would put 2 fire pits and the Adirondack chairs 6 feet apart. And also in the Kimball courtyard outside the dining hall, which presents a great space where you could set up more fire pits and circles of Adirondack chairs socially distanced apart where students can gather any weekend as long as the weather stays nice outside and be safe.
So our budget is currently, we utilize our entire budget. So we propose $7,000 for Adirondack chairs, which we're going to try and max out that $7,000 to buy as many Adirondack chairs as necessary as possible, along with utilizing the Adirondack chairs the school already has. We're also going to utilize $1,000 for propane fire pits. So we're going to get 10 propane fire pits, $800 for propane storage containers, $1,000 for lawn games. So that's cornhole, that's spike ball, that's other socially distant lawn games, and then $200 for the beef barbecue food truck rental for the kickoff event. And our non-monetary aspect is the use of the school's marketing team and platforms to advocate to students to be hashtag HC Outdoors.
In our monetary budget as well, we only allocated $200 for the food truck, and this was to bring the food truck here, and we believe that it would be more beneficial utilizing the money in the budget to go towards Adirondack chairs and lawn games and fire pits rather than paying totally so that the food at the food truck is free for students. We want to identify food trucks with low cost for the food and use our money to create a long-lasting space on campus rather than just one event.
And as next thing, and so for COVID considerations, for the kickoff event specifically, all attendees are going to be registered through MyHC and be in HC Clear compliance. And along with that, the Hovel will have steel barricades ensuring that people will have their HC Clear verified. For the long-term changes of COVID-19, with these new spaces on campus, the Adirondack chairs naturally create a 6-foot distance, along with being outside reduces COVID-19 spread on campus. And the RAs that we've discussed with in Brooks Hall indicated to us that they'd be okay managing these outdoor spaces and maintaining them.
So rather than having students go into the common room inside during the pandemic, we identified that if we can create outdoor spaces, students can gather, be socially distanced with many more people than an inside venue. And we believe it can create a long-term effect that will be beneficial for many years to come.
All right, we're willing to take questions.
Thank you. Questions from judges?
I have a question. I was wondering if either of you had looked into whether the spaces were approved for the propane fire pits.
So yeah, we believe that they are because so up at the Hart Center, they have the outdoor skating rink. They have propane fire pits up there. So I believe that most of the spaces are compliant with propane fire pits.
Also, propane fire pits offer a safer alternative to actual fires from bonfires and real fire pits. It's a more controlled flame, and we believe we allocated money in our budget for propane storage lockers as well. So at the end of the night, we would have the RAs on duty, take the propane out of the fire pit and put it into the storage locker and lock it to make sure that that it is safe.
Other questions from judges?
Cheryl, just a quick question. If you were to be able to move forward today, what would be the first things you'd do as next steps?
The first thing we would do, I think, would be starting to plan the kickoff event. We would identify a weekend, probably as soon as possible, a nice weekend outside. I think it's going to be nice going forward. This week, I think it's going to be very nice. And so first thing we would do, we would talk more with the Office of Student Involvement to make sure that we have more help planning the event. We would identify a food truck vendor to bring in. We would also identify the fire pits and propane tanks that we would like to purchase from Home Depot, Walmart, or another store like that, and work closely with the school to make sure this event can happen as soon as possible so students can enjoy the outdoor space as long as we're here for the rest of the semester.
Thank you.
Thomas and Jack, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Katie and Marie, you are both up.
Katie's going to share her screen and we're going to present on mine.
Perfect.
Yeah, this one. All right, so hi, my name is Marie James.
And I'm Katie Staphalopoulos.
And we are proposing Crusader Cookout, which is just a great way to get people together and outdoors in the nice weather. I'm sure you might remember your own freshman year, being able to meet new people, make new friends. At the same time, the first year is socially and academically challenging and can be a very stressful experience.
We're both freshmen this year, and being in a pandemic, it's obviously been very difficult to connect with other students on campus and to really feel like a part of the Holy Cross community. Especially in the winter months when we can't really get outside much. But now that the weather's warming up, we have a great opportunity to spend more outside and to get to know more people. So for our idea, we wanted to do something to get everyone outside, enjoying the nicer weather, and making friends with other students in a COVID-safe way.
And this is just kind of our idea board. This is what we brainstormed, things we want to see at this event. It's a cookout theme, and what better way to bring people together than through games and a traditional cookout experience, something that I think many of us missed out on last summer/fall and would have liked to see and experience.
So getting into more specifics, there's nothing that college students like better than free food. So we want to get 2 food trucks called Teddy's Lunchbox and the Dogfather, and they both have your typical summer cookout food, so it fits with our theme. We also want to give out s'mores kits that students can use with the campfires or even just to bring back to their dorms. We would provide some kits without chocolate and some have gluten-free graham crackers so everyone can participate and enjoy the events. We want to have lawn games set up like cornhole, ladder ball, bocce, and can jam. And all of these can be played socially distanced so we can be COVID safe. We'll decorate our cookout with our cookout theme, and we'll plan to have a photo backdrop so students can take pictures and commemorate the events. There'll also be contests such as guessing how much candy is in a jar and a raffle with prizes from the Holy Cross bookstore. So that'll just be an extra incentive for students to sign up.
And this is just a visual representation that also has our dates. Ideally, we'd have the event on the first weekend that's given to us, April 17th. And should the weather be bad, our rain date is April 24th, that following Saturday. And so as you can see here, our location would be in front of Fenwick as well as some other locations that we'll talk about later. We know the school already has some Adirondack chairs as well as fire pits that are perfectly safe and acceptable. So we'll have those out in front of the lawn and reserve some of our money for other games and things like that. And then like just behind Fenwick near the chapel and on that road, we'd have the food trucks and with extra seating, with a setup for incentives, raffles, prize games, anything we want the students to have fun with. We'd also have lawn games on the Kimball Quad where people can space out and have fun.
So for our budget, we met with Chris from OSI, and he gave us an estimate for about $2,000 for each food truck. So we've considered that in our budget. We went through on different websites, as you can see screenshotted here. We found s'more supplies, lawn games, and prizes from the Holy Cross bookstore for the contests. We also looked at places like Party City just to get an idea of what we want our theming and decorations to look like. And we're giving ourselves a budget of $300 for decorations and other miscellaneous supplies like the photo backdrop so we can create a more cohesive and fun theme. All these costs add up to just over $5,000, which is well under the $10,000 budget. It also totals at just under $7 per student of the freshman class. And this gives us a little bit of a buffer if the food trucks do end up being a little bit more expensive. And depending on their cost, for let's say if they're less expensive, we could have the flexibility to give out different party favors or like goodie bags with extra incentives for students, such as like beads, stickers, or masks.
Our event is also very COVID safe. We'd have sanitation stations around the area as well as by the game so that we can ensure proper cleaning. We'd have spaced out seating 6 feet apart. You can also sign up for the slots in advance on MyHC, which would ensure that multiple people can experience the event, and you can also sign up for either the game, the fire pits, the food, etc. You must also abide by the Holy Cross COVID policies, which includes being Holy Cross clear and getting tested. We'd have limited game players, individually wrapped s'mores kits, and fire pit safety. Crusader Cookout is a feasible way to bring people together in a COVID-safe way. We want the opportunity to get the full Holy Cross experience that emphasizes community and connection.
We really think that given this chaotic year, this event will be a great way to relieve stress and to meet new people while also getting outside and enjoying the weather. Thank you for your time, and we'll take questions.
Great. Questions from judges? Cheryl, please.
Have you looked at, in order to meet the time frame you've put in front of you, what would be the first things you'd have to prioritize in order to make this this happen the way you've portrayed it?
We definitely have to prioritize talking to the food trucks and seeing when they're available. We'd also have to speak with facilities and to see like if they can move the chairs and set up tables, and we'd work with the Office of Student Involvement as well.
We also want to ensure that our rain date would also be a feasible date. We want the food trucks to be available then as well if we couldn't present for some reason our ideal initial date.
Great, thank you.
Michelle.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Can you talk about the number of students you are planning to come through your event?
Yeah, so there's the limit of 150 students, but each section, such as the fire pits or the lawn games or the contests, would have their own capacity limit. So you'd have to sign up on MyHG for the events individually. Also, the lawn games are pretty much in a separate location, so that enables there to be more students.
Great. Katie Marie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up is Allie, Caitlin, Julia, and Carter.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. Every admissions tour at Holy Cross starts by telling prospective students about the opportunities to engage with the Worcester community and just about the city of Worcester in general. However, with being remote for the fall semester, students were not able to engage in the normal activities of dining on Shrewsbury Street, participating in CBLs or SPUD, or just those normal engagements with the Worcester community. And these businesses are also struggling without the interaction of Holy Cross students. And for a college with the motto, for and with others, we really need to have this community strength between the students and the Worcester community in general. And in the next 3 months, we're gonna have an entire new class of Holy Cross graduates joining both the alumni network and potentially the Worcester community as well. And these seniors have missed out on opportunities here in Worcester, as well as future these traditions that would be coming up, such as senior ball, beer garden, and the pub nights every Tuesday night in Hogan. And we all know that a Holy Cross education goes far beyond the 4 years on campus. As an alumni, all Holy Cross graduates want to give back to the school, and it's by building a strength with the senior class community that we can ensure that this legacy of Holy Cross alumni will continue going forward at the same strength as it is today.
So with that, we've kind of acknowledged that the senior class is losing a lot, and we want to try to bring something back to them because they have been missing out on so many of those crucial moments for them. So that's where we bring in Brews from the Woo. And since the senior class is our main 21 and up demographic on campus, and Worcester has so many great breweries, we want to partner with them to bring them to campus so that seniors aren't going off to campus, and we can create a safe, controlled environment for them. So that's where our solution comes in. So we're going to partner with local breweries to create a 2021 pub night for the class of 2021. This would take part during senior week, so in that nice period of time right after classes and before graduation, where they normally have all these fun events, to help bring them together like for one last night on campus. So we'd sign up through MyHC, so there would be time slots so that they don't exceed the 150 capacity at any given time. And we'd invite these breweries in and set up a sipping event for them. And the 2021 pub rats, we just thought that it's always such a nice tradition that they have the pub rat signs. If any of the alumni remember that, we don't want the 2021 class to be missing out on the wall, and we want to really help them out there.
In order to comply with state and local guidelines, we've decided on an outdoor venue, which would take place on Freshman Field. That way we can set up various tables that are distanced by 6 feet, and we can have different stations for the breweries to come in and provide beers for students later on and their samples. Additionally, it would allow students to be able to communicate between tables, and it would create a little more control for the school. There could be an ID swipe system in order for students to enter, and it would be a safe environment outside, 150 students at a time, and there would be multiple slots throughout the night so that the senior class, which is approximately 800 students, would be able to participate. This is a little demonstration of how the tables would be arranged. If you look at them in pods of 4, then students can interact with each other while maintaining 6 feet of distance and be able to comply with all the guidelines. Financials, essentially what we would be hoping for is working with a budget of $7 per student. There are approximately 800 students in the senior class, which would give us a budget of $5,600, which is well below the limit proposed for this challenge. We would then be able to partner with SGA and CAB, and if it is needed, we can have seniors purchase a ticket, which is something that they would have had to do for Senior Bowl anyway. So our next steps, we would reach out to local breweries, see if they would be willing to provide a sample for students, and then after the sample, the beers that the students did like, they could go and purchase at the table set up by the breweries. We would poll the senior class to gauge numbers and figure out how many time slots we would need throughout the evening, and then we would meet with SGA and CAB in order to have a little more support for our idea.
Thank you so much, and we'd like to open the floor for any questions now.
Thank you. Questions from judges?
I have a quick question. Thank you for your presentation. I was just wondering, in terms of scheduling, if you had taken into account the new graduation date that was moved up.
Yeah, so we do know that the graduation date is earlier this year, and we're hoping that either still in the final days before the May 21st graduation, or in those immediate days after, because a lot of the Holy Cross students living off campus will still have their leases, so it would still be an opportunity then, but we'd hope to have this event going in those final days leading up to the early graduation.
Great. Other questions from judges? Michelle, please.
Thank you again. Can you all go over your pricing structure again for me?
Yes, so this was an area that bringing in local breweries is something that hasn't been done by Holy Cross in the past. So we don't have a clear a clear model of pricing as we do for some of the food trucks that come into Holy Cross. So we would need to work with OSI in developing these contracts with the breweries. But our breakdown on costs would be to fund this, to fund the breweries coming in. And we're hoping that with working with these breweries, since students would be purchasing the alcohol that they like from the brewers, they would be willing to provide some samples as well, but also our cost would be bringing those breweries in, and if they're not willing to give the samples, give money for that as well.
We also identified at least 8 local breweries, so we're hoping that out of the 8, we only do have the space for 4, so we're hoping if we do reach out to a lot, we can kind of gauge the prices and go with ones that would be on the cheaper end of the scale and also be a little bit more willing to maybe offer free samples or discount their prices, because there is some incentive that they will also be selling beer that the seniors would buy.
Great, team. Thank you very much. Next up is
Sorry.
Haley. Oh, yes. Oh, please.
Can I just ask one more question?
Very quick, Will. We're
Okay.
out of time.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any seniors that are below the age of 21, but how would you manage that?
We talked about they're obviously showing ID upon entrance, so we would ensure that they are 21 upon entry, and getting a wristband that they would have to show to the breweries. So that way, if there are some seniors that aren't 21, they can still participate, and they can still just stand at the tables and talk and engage with their classmates, and they don't need to have alcohol. And same going for people who choose not to participate in the drinking aspect.
Great question. And thank you very much, team. Next up, we have Haley and Catherine.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone hear me? Awesome. Okay. So my name is Catherine. I am a senior at Holy Cross. I'm an English major.
And my name's Haley. I'm a double major in French and art history.
And so for this year's Innovation Challenge, our idea is called the Holy Cross Student Hotline. And so essentially what this is we want to create a portal where students can voice their concerns directly to the faculty members who are making the decisions about campus life during COVID-19. And we want to do this to encourage communication and bridge the divide between faculty and students. And we think this is necessary because as responsive as the campus has been, many students are still feeling like there's a difficulty in getting all the help that they need. And, like many professors have been so understanding and receptive, but we want to reflect that more on an institutional level and create more of a portal for the students to feel heard by the school and have a direct access to a more one-to-one communication when they need to. And so just to kind of separate how this is different from what we currently have, we do have the counseling office and the chaplain's office, which are amazing. And we get weekly updates on the guidelines and testing for COVID-19. But the focus on this would be more about the daily life of students and just really encouraging the listening and communication between the faculty and the students, and just making this year the most comfortable for students as we can while still remaining safe, obviously. And so now Haley is going to get into the how a little bit.
Okay, so what we were thinking for how we can do this is an HC student hotline website. So it would be sort of a place where all this information, it would be like a concentrated area, so easy access. So we would have contact info listed for students to reach out to the various people involved, and then on-call hours directly with someone from the administration, so sort of eliminating like any middleman. And then Zoom office hours, and then a 12-hour email reply guarantee, and list of student suggestions that have been completed or are in progress, and then links to other student services like the counseling center, and then we were thinking weekly discussion groups, and we were also thinking about possibly an Instagram where there would be daily updates and announcements for students. And in doing some research, we saw that we found that Villanova University has an Instagram where they do this, and they also have discussion groups and listening circles. So it would sort of be creating a direct channel for the community so to discuss COVID and daily life living with COVID on campus. And then for who is involved, so it would mainly be for students to connect with the administration, and it would be available for all class years. And we were thinking there would be representatives from each of these groups and departments to sort of manage like the on-call hours, the email, and the discussion groups so that there'd be a sort of diversity of opinions, and like also every aspect would sort of be answered. And so yeah.
All right, thank you so much for listening, and we'll take questions now.
Thank you. Questions from judges? Michelle.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm curious how this is different from some of the things that we currently offer for students and access for students to voice their concerns and opinions.
Yeah, so like we all go back to the slide of what we have currently. And so our kind of concept of how this is different is we kind of want to have a very specific portal for like direct communication. So kind of like one-to-one, because I know, like a lot of students have been having some difficulties reaching and like getting responses sometimes because, everyone has like a lot of tasks to do and like are pretty busy. So we think that if there's like a very specific portal and specific people who are like dedicated to responding and having these conversations, then it would be a really great way to just kind of supplement what we already have.
Cheryl.
Thank you for your presentation. How would you propose using your budget, and how would you go about being able to produce this in a timely manner?
Yeah, so I think one of the great things about this is it probably wouldn't take that much of a budget. So for like what we want to do, as Healy kind of talked about, we want to have just a portion on the website, the whole existing Holy Cross website that kind of just explains like what this is and what this program is, because we know there's this that already is about the student support during COVID, and this will just be adding to that. And we'll have like the Zoom office hours, an email to email for student concerns. And so like in terms of budget, I know that we were kind of talking about like having possibly like different faculty members like patrol or manage certain hours for like Zoom and everything. So possibly like the budget would go to them for their time or something like that. But yeah, like one of the great things is that we can hopefully like implement this pretty timely and it's in a pretty timely manner, and it wouldn't take a great budget. So like there still could be so many other events like a lot of other people have been talking about in addition to this. So yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Next up is Chris and JB.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Adam, do you just mind sharing your screen real quick? Beautiful, thank you. My name is Chris Herndon.
My name is JB.
And today we're here to talk to you about FUD. Over the past year as a student body, we have witnessed the harm and struggle COVID imposed upon our community. College should be filled with fun gatherings, enjoying time with our friends, and enriching the community around us. In fact, the two most integral parts of any Holy Cross student experience is sitting down after a long week with your friends at one of your favorite restaurants, whether that be El Chitron or Via on Shrewsbury Streets. And more importantly, exploring the city of Worcester itself. Both are essential to the Holy Cross community experience. With FUD, we will be able to give students back this unique opportunity in a new COVID-safe manner that will translate past our COVID times. We plan on connecting groups of students with the restaurants we love in Worcester in a new engaging way that will bring our friend groups closer and allow them to discover the city of Worcester that we all know and love, that many of our students have missed out on as freshmen, and that many of our seniors may not come back and get the chance to do again.
So with that said, we're going to show you here a prototype of how our app would function in order to benefit the students of the Holy Cross community and also the restaurants of the Worcester community. When you get on our app, the idea here is that you will join your party with your friends. So you'll all be able to search for restaurants on your individual phones, which means you can maintain social distancing. And it's also a really fun way to have everybody engaged in the search process and reconnect. So when you get on the app, you would just log into your account and then you just type in your information. From there, you just click login again. And then here is where you can join your groups, and you have your recent groups that you've joined most recently, but then you can also either host or join a group. Here, we're going to join one. And the way you would do so is that the host of your group will have a code that you can put in. You type it into the bar right there. And once you click that button and you join, you're all set. And now everyone in your group and party is connected together on the app, but on their individual phones. Once you've done this, the first screen that you're going to see is a restaurant card. So we present it in a really easy way where you can see one restaurant at a time, and it has all the information you need, from the pictures of the food, the menu, the price, the distance, and so on. And when you want to choose these restaurant cards, what you're going to do is you're going to swipe. And that means you swipe left for no, or you swipe right for yes. And in doing so, it's an engaging, fun way to just view one card at a time. And the goal is that everyone will be swiping together. And once they all match and swipe right on the same restaurant, you're going to have this match page appear. And from there, you have your traditional options where you can choose to make a reservation or you can order takeout. But if you wanted to, you can also pre-order. And this is the new function that we're really pushing because it not only benefits the safety of the Holy Cross students, but it also benefits the restaurants. And the reason why is because through pre-ordering, you're able to look at the menu, order your food ahead of time, and pay on the app. And so this allows you to then get to the restaurant. And if you're planning on sitting down, you just sit down immediately. Your food is served within minutes of arrival, so there's no wait time. And on top of that, it reduces interaction with people so that you're safer from COVID. And then for the restaurants, this increases their table turnover, meaning that they can process more customers in one day, which increases their revenue. And so this is really important for them, especially during these times of COVID. So just to show you how pre-ordering works, you would click the pre-order button, then you can see the menu. You can choose your appetizers, your entrees. You could order just your appetizers or your full meal. It's up to you. Then you place your order. From there, you have your options of reservation times to select your table and when you want to go. You also put in your party information, and then you're all set. And the next page here will show you the payment option. You choose to pay for your food. You can either pay as one whole party or you can split up the bill however you'd like. And once you place your order, you're all done. And so that is how we integrate the group community for the students and also the benefit for the restaurants.
Thank you, JB. And most importantly, with a new president onboarding this summer, who in his opening speech when he was introduced, he focused specifically on the city of Worcester as a focal point of the Holy Cross experience. And he hasn't even come here yet, and he understands that. Many of us refer to Worcester as our home away from home, and we wouldn't want it any other way. Restaurants have struggled over the past years, and these restaurants rely on student bodies across Worcester to make a difference. We will be able to provide these restaurants a lifeline while our students have a safe outlet to explore Worcester. As an HRA, I see every single weekend, students are going out to restaurants as it is in large groups. They don't wear masks when they're trying to select a place outside of Brooks or Healy. They're just all there. But if they had this app, they would be able to stay in their rooms with their roommates and then go to these restaurants, spread out at different tables, and keep Holy Cross safe and the community safe while providing Worcester income that it really needs in those restaurants. And furthermore, this app is not going to disappear after one use. Students and members of the community will be able to use this app for years to come. So let's bring our Holy Cross community to what matters the most: friends, family, and food. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Questions from judges? Michelle.
I have a couple of questions actually, and the first is, well, first of all, thank you for your presentation and for your idea. The first question is about the partnerships with restaurants, and it seems like there would, if students can order and pay, that there has to be restaurant buy-in, and so I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about what you all see as your next steps here. And then finally, for students who cannot afford to go out, how does this address community needs for them?
Yeah, so I can take the first couple of questions. So the first thing that was coming up with a restaurant partnership. So a restaurant doesn't necessarily have to be signed up with us. And that's the most important thing. They just wouldn't have the pre-order reservation. So the students, and this is community-based, they would still be able to swipe with their friends and meet up with people and do it safely. Additionally, our goal and our community, our mission is to make sure that this is an affordable app for companies, because we see restaurants, or not restaurants, but apps like Yelp open table resi are charging margins of up over 200%, which is really killing a lot of these restaurants. And especially with COVID right now, we're seeing a lot of restaurants in Worcester who necessarily can't afford, as we've spoken to some of them, they can't afford some of these super expensive things, but with COVID, they need them now because people want takeout or they want to know that they're going to be safe. So what we're hoping to do is offer them at an affordable rate and not, price charge them. Our upcoming step right now is we're actually creating a website that would students would be able to, swipe and go through and then be able to order through restaurants. So that's kind of our next step right now, just to test and make sure that, yes, people want this. We've done surveys with over 1,000 respondents and they do want this. So we just want to make sure that we have that proof there. Thirdly, for students who might not necessarily be able to afford to go out to eat, you don't have to order a whole meal, which is kind of nice. And then additionally, I know we did have a $10,000 budget with this event, so maybe we could use that to subsidize students as like an event, because a lot of freshmen, as we see, first year students, they're going out as it is, or they're staying in because they don't have that opportunity. So Holy Cross in many ways could provide students who can't afford to do this an opportunity to go out into the city and explore. Because you and I both know, there's a lot of money at Holy Cross and there's a lot of students, myself included, who feel left out a lot of the times because you hear students talking about, oh, I got a new Canada Goose jacket, or we went out to VA and spent $150. For somebody like myself, that's very prohibitive. But if the school is able to provide students an opportunity to subsidize 2 or 3 meals during their semester and go out with their friends and have that experience and go out into Worcester, it would really placate this idea.
We are at time. Cheryl, I know that you had your hand raised. Is there something additional?
It was similar to Michelle, so thank you guys.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank
you. Next up is Jacob.
Thank you, Ja-Nae. Hello, everybody. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Can everybody see it? Great, thank you. So hello, my name is Jacob Ozzie. I'm a current sophomore at Holy Cross, double majoring in poli-sci and history and on the pre-law track. For this innovation challenge, I decided to come up with the spring celebration, which will happen on the weekend of the 24th to the 25th. Before I even go into it, I want to start off by saying that I wanted to create a mission statement to make sure that we can try to fulfill that statement with this celebration. As it reads, this is a weekend for Holy Cross students to celebrate, support local businesses, and promote community. When thinking about this innovation challenge, I wanted to solve an issue that I have noticed on campus, and that is the lack of community that I experienced when I was a freshman. So obviously, COVID is ruining everything, but my goal is to bring that sense of community back to the school. Before I go into it, I also want to talk about the COVID regulations. What I did for this event is create 5 different time slots in which you can see on the slide. And my goal or my hope is that there will be a max of 60 students at a given location at a given time. Also, throughout campus, there will be sanitation centers where there will be masks, hand sanitizers, gloves, and wipes. Students must be tested negative twice during the week before the weekend. And then we also will ask the small business owners who will be coming to be tested as well, which I'll go into right now. We will start off on April 24th with a school-wide Kahoot. If you do not know what Kahoot is, it's a game-based learning platform that will allow students to basically compete against each other with a quiz. Whoever gets first, second, or third place will be given an award, like a gift card. The second thing that I want to do for this Saturday is to bring TED Talk to Holy Cross and give students the chance and the opportunity to talk to other students about their experience at Holy Cross so far. Though this is open to all students, my main focus and my main goal is to allow students of color to come talk about their experience at Holy Cross and how we can help and how we can solve issues that they think are prevalent on campus. The final thing on Saturday that I would love to do is a small business showcase. What that will entail is asking small businesses in the Worcester area to come to campus to the Hovel and set up a table where they can sell some of their products. For example, Acoustic Java that is right next to campus can sell their coffee for students. This way, we as a school can show our support and our love for the small businesses in the Worcester area and help them out in any way we can. The next day, I started off with something that will happen on slot 5, which is at 7 o'clock, which is a movie screening that somebody else also talked about and presented earlier. We can offer different snacks like popcorn, ice cream, cotton candy, and we'll give students the chance and the opportunity to choose the movie in which they want to watch. Another thing that will happen on Sunday is an ice cream social, where we will try to provide ice cream from local ice cream stores and local dairy farms within the greater Worcester area. Another thing that I hope that we can implement is an outdoor student-led concert where students who want to perform, whether that's playing an instrument or singing, can perform, but obviously we're gonna have to make sure that it's COVID-friendly and COVID cautious. The final thing that I wish we can do is do a senior send-off where we allow seniors to drive throughout campus in their cars as a parade as the underclassmen, faculty, and staff can celebrate on the sidewalks, socially distanced, sending our seniors away as they enter the real world. I know that a lot of these events in which I am talking about raises concerns because of COVID, but as I said, I am very open to discussing plans in which we can try to implement social distancing, making sure that every student is wearing a mask, that every student is also negative, and make sure that everybody in the community is safe. A final few logistics, and I briefly mentioned them in my explanation. Some of the places and locations in which I want to focus on for these events are the freshman field, the Hovel, and the football stadium. These are big areas that would allow students to social distance and to ensure their safety. Another way that I was thinking for students who want to sign up for the different slots is we can either use Google Forms or My HC Network. Marketing, we can market this through Instagram and My HC Network. Using Canva. And then I also have a couple of budget considerations, but this, if done properly, can be done without exceeding the $10,000 budget limit. So thank you so much. And I hope that with this event, we can bring back the Holy Cross community that has been prevalent for years.
Thank you, Jacob. Questions from judges? James.
I was just wondering, it seems like a lot of events. Are they all simultaneously occurring on the same 2-day period?
Right. So I can also share the, the presentation with you later on, but I designated certain things for different slots, right? So for example, the business showcase is open during slots 1, 2, 3, and 4. If a student is particularly interested in one thing, for example, the Kahoot, which is only in slots 1 and 2, they can sign up for slot 2, where they have the ability to go to the Kahoot, and then for another time slot, go to another thing, but they just have to pre-register. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thanks.
Cheryl.
Thanks for your presentation. So it is a lot of things, but if you think about what would be the first steps you'd have to start to take in order to make this a success in the next month?
The first thing, and I know that we don't have a lot of time because it's next month, so we would have to start working almost immediately. The first thing that I want to do is my main focus is to make sure that TED Talks happen, because I really want to give students of color the chance to talk. So that would be my first main step, making sure that we recruit students, we create a small committee to choose those students and who in which they want to talk about. The next thing that we would do is we'll try to figure out the other logistics, right? How are we going to get ice cream? Which small businesses in Worcester are we going to ask to come? How are we going to make sure that everybody's going to be tested negative twice before that weekend? So figuring out the logistics. And then the final thing that I want to, there's a lot of things and we'll be working up to that weekend, but the final thing that I want to focus on is the concert. And I know that because of COVID, that may not be extremely plausible, but I think it can be something we can do. But I just want to make sure that we have a little stage set up, making sure that we create different little areas on the field where students can sit or stand or whatever, and making sure that they're social distancing.
Great, thank you.
Great. Any other questions from judges? Jacob, thank you very much. Patrick, you are next.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen right now. All right, can everybody hear me all right? Perfect. Okay, so first I want to say good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for allowing this event to happen. My name is Patrick Lewis. I'm going to present for my team members, Matthew Lacqua and Gianna Kafalis. And our idea is Chill on the Hill. It's an outdoor social entertainment space. Yes, we do know how corny the name is. It's just a placeholder right now. First, my team identified 3 main problems faced by students. One is a lack of ability for students to socially gather within the guidelines proposed by the administration. 2 is a lack of opportunity for the countless number of amazing, talented artists at the school to showcase their abilities to the public. 3rd, for upperclassmen such as myself and my 2 teammates, there's been no opportunity to experience the pub, which we had to watch for 3 years. All the other years experience it, and we could never take part in it ourselves. In terms of logistics, what we want is possibly an outdoor eating or study space during the day if we want to keep the infrastructure outside 24 hours. And then at night, it can turn into an outdoor entertainment social space. What's required is really pretty simple. It's seating, chairs, dining arrangements, which we've already done, a performance stage for campus groups to use, lighting at nights. What I would love to do is have access for all students on campus or that are studying remote right now, maybe put up a camera, have a Zoom link, so that even if you can't register for the event, you can still take part in it. And last but not least would be Holy Cross staff or pub safe to ensure that all the participants are enjoying themselves in a safe way. We also want to stress that it doesn't necessarily have to be used as a pub at night. Space could be used by various groups on campus during weekends. That'd be through CAB, and with perhaps a dedicated pub night for upperclassmen. We also already have the MyHC app that can allow students to sign up for the event so we can monitor attendance numbers. We also want to stress that the core motivation behind the implementation of this space is flexibility. We want the space to foster community for all of the Holy Cross students. In terms of implementation, my team has identified 3 locations that we think would work best. Number 1 is the Hovel. It's obviously very beautiful, lots of flat, open area. We've had countless events on this location. It's right by Crodes. So if you don't want to necessarily eat from the options that we provide, you can go and get a slice of pizza, come back. We've done so many events here, so Holy Cross also knows how to do it for this location. Second would be Kimball Quad. Similar to Hovel, large open space. We've had many events here right by Kimball. And then the 3rd space would be Memorial Plaza. It's a little smaller, more shaded, already has some infrastructure there with the benches and umbrellas. It's also easily accessible by car. For the entertainment, this we think is one of the biggest selling points of our idea. It's free. For example, pictured here is a band called Scone. It's an on-campus band made up of all seniors performing on Kimball Quad about 2 years ago. I've already reached out to multiple artists at the school, and they've all expressed interest in performing, whether it be Scone or a couple of DJs that I've spoken to. We also acknowledge that there may be issues regarding COVID with the singing and playing of instruments. Perhaps it can be done masked, social distance enough to be okay. We can also just have instrumentals such as Kevin Chen, the piano scholar that we have at the school, DJs, instrumental guitar, mass karaoke. Doesn't necessarily have to be only musical performances also. We can set up a movie, dance group, or we can have a literature read. In terms of food and drink, it doesn't have to be some crazy ornate setup. We really only need benches, umbrellas, things like that on the picture on the left. In terms of food, we already have so many connections with small businesses through Dogfather, Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, food trucks like that. Yesterday, as I was walking back to my dorm, I signed up, got a hot dog at Dogfather on Easy Street. Students can also order food from Crossroads and bring it in themselves if they like. The 4 main benefits that we see from this idea is one, that it gives students a place to gather within the guidelines and regulations put in place by the COVID response team, which also mitigates instances of prohibited gatherings and the subsequent spike of COVID cases. It also helps with contact tracing and everything like that. It also provides an outlet for the so many talented artists on campus to showcase their abilities, kind of bringing back a sort of 10 spot that we used to see at Crodes. Also, the versatility and implementation we think is the biggest selling factor. It can be as big or as small as the college wants it to be. It doesn't have to involve alcohol if we don't want it to have. It's entirely up to the college. Also, it can be first come, first serve, or we can target each event to a specific group. It can be freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior nights, or we can target it to student groups such as BSU. We also think that it promotes a self and healthy social interaction for all students in the Holy Cross community. Not only are we going through a global pandemic right now, there's also an unprecedented mental health crisis in this country. I think that a return to some sense of normalcy will do wonders for the student population. Now, to end this presentation, I'd like to say the community has never been about some over-the-top extravagant events. We want to build on the infrastructure that we've already perfected in a way. through the My HC app, Grubhub, registering over Google Docs or Google Links. It's not about what the event is. It's about getting us all to a place where we can feel comfortable and create a community. If you give us the space, we'll do the rest. I want to thank you guys so much for your time, and I'm more than willing to answer any questions you have.
Thanks, Pat. Questions from judges? Cheryl.
Thanks for your presentation. Could you talk a little bit more about how you would think about leveraging the space and using the budget that's available? Which things would you choose to bring to the front, given that you would have a budget available?
Sure. What we thought was, obviously the most important thing would be food, I guess, in this case. So it would be, again, the $2,500 for the 200 servings from Dogfather, so to say. We've already done it multiple times this year already. So we think it's something that Holy Cross has done before, so we can easily just build off of it.
Great, thank you.
Other questions from judges? Okay, with that, Pat, thank you very much. Next up is Meg.
Okay. So hi, my name is Maria Elena, and I am a current sophomore psychology major at the College of the Holy Cross. And the problem that I want to address on campus right now is the lack of the ability to date on campus socially distanced. So prior to COVID, an easy way to meet people on campus would be through a lot of the parties that happened on the weekends. So Darties is a huge campus culture. And actually, my older brother and his girlfriend on the right are a perfect example of this. He was a sophomore and she was a senior when they met at Holy Cross at a Darty. They did not share any of the same classes, they did not share any of the same majors, and they would not have met each other if it wasn't for this community. However, since these parties are not happening anymore, many people who do share the same values and what they want in a relationship might not be able to date anymore. Well, some might ask, why not use Tinder or other social media platforms that give you this opportunity to date online during this time? Well, one thing that Tinder does not provide, it does not give you the exclusive ability to date people primarily from your own college. It casts a wide net through Worcester, but however, this may come with a lack of accountability with the new people that you meet online. For example, to the right is an example of a pickup line oh so too many women get on this app. A man will message a woman saying, "Why are you so cute but so fat?" and then proceed to say far and blame it on an autocorrect. They think they're creative, but this is actually just an image that I was able to get off of Google, showing how often this image comes about. Additionally, when you see somebody on Tinder, it may be awkward because there still is a little bit of a stigma when you see somebody who's online dating. Therefore, if you see somebody from your class or residence hall on campus, it may just have this weird sort of connection where you both know that you see each other online, but you aren't going to talk about it. Therefore, I would like to propose Holy Cross Hinge. Holy Cross Hinge is a double-blind Google form that we can send out to the entire student body. Administrators such as myself or anyone else who would want to play matchmaker can see all the answers that roll in from people, and then they can anonymously pair up these couples with similar interests. For example, there's many questions we could ask that would show if people want a serious relationship or if they just want to casually date and talk, and then we can pair them up based on their preferred form of communication. So once we match people up, we can anonymously give them each other their Snapchat or username, so we don't see who we're pairing up, but they get to see the potential partner who they may get to talk to. Therefore, you're only meeting people from Holy Cross. So some examples of questions we could ask on this Google form is, what is your favorite study spot on campus? Maybe there's a misconnection where you both study and dine every day, but you wouldn't know it. Favorite restaurant, you could have a talking point if you both love to go to the Fix. Class year, if you want to date somebody who's in the same grade as you, another grade, and so on and so forth. And you guys can talk on the phone similar to like what the right with isolation pods, until you decide that you want to move forward in the relationship and this is a person from Holy Cross who you actually want to meet. So what happens when you actually want to meet this person?
Well, there's many things that you can do on campus. The Holy Cross tables are designed so that two people can sit at them socially distanced wearing masks and still within the COVID guidelines. Additionally, you can go out to dinner with COVID wearing masks at the table that you guys may both decide is your favorite restaurant. Furthermore, you can also FaceTime and text as much as you want in order to build this relationship while still maintaining COVID practices and talking about your shared values and shared interests. So, to summarize why Holy Cross Hinge could be a good solution to solve the problem of the lack of dating on campus is it creates a safer place for students to meet online because you're meeting people who you can potentially see on campus in addition. Furthermore, it is easily implementable within the next week. You could create this Google form and send it out as soon as possible. And what's even better, it is a zero-cost solution to the college. Sending out a Google form and having student volunteers who want to get these matches created can be a zero-cost solution that could actually benefit much of the Holy Cross population. Additionally, many things that have not been included is the students who are completely remote for this semester. There's many students who are just learning from home and they're not able to meet any Holy Cross students on campus right now. Therefore, with this Google form going to everyone, it also gives these students the opportunity to make connections with other Holy Cross students. Well, Holy Cross has been a place of many years that has created many relationships. During COVID, this could be a way to pair up people who have shared values on campus and who want to meet people on campus. Welcome any questions you may have.
Meg, thank you. Questions from the judges? Cheryl.
Thanks, Meg. Great presentation. Have you done any surveying at all of students and seen the range of types of students that would be interested?
Yeah, so that's what I was able to do. I just texted a couple of friends and asked them about what their experience, primarily using other relationship apps on Tinder, and that's how I got the feedback of people saying that it's a little awkward when they see people in their classes, and when the relationship doesn't work out, it's still awkward to still have to share that sort of connection.
Great, thank you.
Other questions from judges? Okay, great. Meg, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up is actually our last group. So Rafaela, Britt, and Connor, the floor is yours when you're ready.
Thank you so much. I will share my screen. Okay, don't mind my million tabs. Okay, hello everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for sticking in with us till the very end. My name is Britt Axelson and I'm working with Ella Masha and Connor McNerney, and I'll be presenting for us today. Our idea is called HC Jumpstart, and we're kind of terming it as a social connection service. So the issue we are all facing right now, meeting people and creating community during a pandemic, is very challenging. So specifically when we're also looking at Holy Cross's format and our community, so much of the times that we were able to meet people, talk to people, run into people are limited or just eliminated. Right now, things are starting to kind of get a little bit back to normal, but a lot of times when we were talking, ways we've met friends or strengthened relationships have just been going to an event with someone, side conversations with someone. You run into someone on campus or on the street of Hovel, and you need to already know people to kind of have these run-ins and strengthening of community. And a lot of people are having trouble just having these initial interactions with people or having these more one-on-one interactions since there are a lot of Zoom events. Oh, excuse me. There we go. So make sure that's, yes. So our mission is to specifically address the need for a space to meet people and the desire for more meaningful interactions without a large time commitment. So with HC Jumpstart, what we aim to do is to provide a direct resource for students actively seeking out community and new relationships. So this is a format that anybody who engages with it is someone who wants to engage with it, who wants to find community. We want to help students jumpstart a conversation by introducing them to each other. The whole point of this is basically to help with that initial, hey, do you want to get coffee? Like, hey, do you want to hang out more? It can sometimes be a little nervous and nerve-wracking to do that. This, if you're engaging with it, everybody wants the same thing and it does it for you. And we're promoting small and safe social gatherings that are also meaningful. And this provides a format that will be low commitment and offer in-person interactions. So how does this work? It's a pretty straightforward system. We've created a questionnaire that students would complete through MyHC that you can either sign up as an individual or as a pair. If you want to maybe go with a friend so you're not just by yourself, you can meet another pair or another person. We would have it run by a coalition of volunteers. We're thinking of working specifically with SGA and the chaplains and reaching out to them first, and they will work together to match students with similar interests. The people then would receive an email with their match and their contact info, and then they would set up a date and a time and place to connect, probably in Hogan getting coffee, but it's up to their schedules, so it fits with them. Some questions in the questionnaire we would ask is your class, your major, and some general interests like TikTok. So a Google form we created as an example, would have your name, email, year, asking kind of what students are looking for, so we have a general idea. What they're specifically looking for in a match. And then really we just kind of tried to create some general information about what the people are doing and what they're interested in, to try and create this an efficient system, because we want this to not be too work heavy for the people running this program. We want it to be easily connecting people and getting people together quickly, just so that they can meet. So specifically with this, we would create conversation resources working with the chaplain's office and Essential Partners. Essential Partners is a facilitation company that basically helps people work on facilitating deeper conversations. An alumni actually works there, Meg Griffiths, and she helped the chaplain's office create a new first-year retreat, the Ignite retreat, which was all about creating community. So we would offer, as Essential Partners calls it, genuine questions of genuine curiosity and a format for conversation if people want that, so that they have something to talk about as well, which also kind of gives them another way to jumpstart this interaction. But also, these are just guidelines. The main point of this is to get people connected, and they can do whatever they want when they hang out. So this is a great physical event. People can be socially distanced with masks between 2 people or small groups. This can start as early as April or maybe even late March. It's a great option for virtual stuff. If we go back to Orange, or for people who aren't on campus, you can easily do this through Zoom. This would be 0 to a minimal budget. If we did use some of the budget, it would probably go to helping run the program if a lot of the offices are overwhelmed with work, or for incentives, so that we could maybe give people gift vouchers to get free coffee from Cool Beans when they meet up. And we also would be creating a feedback form for the event so that we can then adjust the event as people, adjust the program as people use it. So YHC Jumpstart. 5 simple reasons. COVID safe, it promotes deeper connections, self-selective, specifically people who want to engage with it will. It allows flexible timing for students, and this can be a short-term and a long-term project, specifically engaging with COVID times, but also can be used to build community later on in our community, hopefully when things aren't as unprecedented. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Questions from judges? Cheryl.
Thanks for your presentation. What kind of research have you done with who might engage, what type of things they would be wanting to do, and how much have you thought about an incentive? Like, I really liked your idea of coffee carts. Like, is there a marketing of this that, yes, you join in and get into the app, and we'll actually give you something like that? Have you thought about some of those ideas?
Yes, so we're kind of thinking about this, engaging with the same communities that would engage with the retreats that the chaplain's office promoted. We can't do those in-person retreats anymore, and a lot of times those were for people who really wanted to engage with deeper connections with the Holy Cross community. So that's why we're thinking the chaplain's office could be a really great partner, specifically looking for people who feel like they may know a lot of people or no one, but they are seeking that more of a deep connection with someone. And then with the incentives, the chaplain's office has actually also done a program in the past where they had conversation cards where you could take one, give it to someone and say, hey, I want to get coffee with you. And it was a gift voucher for a Cool Bean. So it's kind of a little bit based off of that as well. But I mean, if we wanted to get creative with it, since we do have a very large budget, we could use Grubhub, we could use other places on campus. There could be a lot of creativity with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Britt.
Thank you.
Other questions from judges? Okay, thank you very much, Britt. Well, that concludes all of our pitches. Why don't we give everyone a round of applause, virtual round of applause. Really nice job, guys. And it's really lovely to see a variety and a mix of ideas. So thank you for bringing your creative brains to the table. What we're going to do now is that the judges are actually going to hop into another Zoom and deliberate based on the criteria that we have, and everyone's has been scoring each team as each team has been presented. But during this time, while we are deliberating, I'm going to turn it over to the managing directors of HC Launch so that we can do some raffles because we have a bunch of really great prizes, as well as open up the most creative award, which is sort of our People's Choice Award, which Tom Cremens will explain. So Tom and Marianne, with that, I will turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ja-Nae. Appreciate it. So first, we want to open up the voting for the Audience Choice Award. So how this will work, it will go out via a Zoom poll. And how that will work is that since there were 11 pitches, the first 5 pitches will go out on a Zoom poll. So you'll vote for whichever you think was the most creative during out of the first 5 pitches. We'll show the results, and then there will be a Zoom poll of the last 6 pitches. Once again, vote for what you think to be the most creative, and we'll show those results. And then the winner of those 2 polls will go head to head. We'll have one last vote there for out of those two that move on to that final vote, what you think is the most creative idea. And then the winner of the most creative award will be announced along with the rest of the winners of the first, second, and third place winners as decided by the judges. So I believe we are ready to put out the Zoom poll to all of the participants for the first 5 pitches, for the first half of the pitches. So once that is ready, that will be distributed, and it should come up on everybody's screen. Oh, perfect. It's both in one. So vote 1 for each, and then we will move on to the winners of both, and that's what will be the final vote. So we'll give another minute or so for everyone to vote. And then once the second poll is ready with the top 2 that will be going head to head, we will get that out to everyone as well. And then, like I said, the winner will be announced at the final judging, at the final announcement of all the winners at the end.
All right, so while we're waiting for those results, I'm going to open up to raffle time, which is the most exciting, obviously, because audience members also have a chance to win some prizes today. So before I share my screen with a wheel of names, I'll show you a t-shirt we're handing out. It's Got HC Launch on it. It's a nice navy cotton t-shirt. I'm Marianne Wiley, by the way. So now I'm gonna share screen and I will let you know what we're handing out today. Alrighty, you should all be able to see my screen. So I have the list of all the participants and audience members today. And this is a wheel of names, everyone's names listed. And right now we'll be handing out 3 HC Launch shirts. So 3 lucky people of the audience will have the opportunity to win a nice cotton t-shirt. So here we go. Ooh. All right, Jose, round of applause. You get a t-shirt. Okay, so now who gets another t-shirt? You get matching t-shirts. You can dress up for Twins Day. It's looking like a perva. Alrighty, another nice cotton t-shirt. All right, and who gets the last cotton HC Launch t-shirt? Let's see. Julia. Alrighty. Awesome. Okay, so you got some nice t-shirts there. You can wear them around campus and say, hey, we won those t-shirts. So now we'll be handing out an HC surprise box. And there is various HC swag in it and goodies, but obviously it's a surprise box, so I can't tell you what's in the box. So one person will win this, and we'll see who wins now. So let me click the wheel. All right, looking like Michael. Congratulations with that HC surprise box. All right, so now we have 3 opportunities to win $100 gift certificates to the HC bookstore. So this is huge. You can go buy yourself a nice sweatshirt, such as one of these. Yep. All right, so let's see who gets the first gift certificate. $100 here. Oh. All right, Haley. Haley wins a $100 gift certificate. Go get yourself a nice t-shirt. All right, let's see who wins another one. Matt. Matthew's winning a nice gift certificate. Go buy yourself some sweatpants and even a hat. All right, now, okay, this is the final one. So everyone, I know you're all waiting desperately. So let's see who wins. Cole. All right, it looks like Cole got another gift certificate. So, congratulations to all the winners there. We'll be reaching out with, either the gift certificate, the nice t-shirt, or the surprise box. So thank you everyone for participating. I'm going to hand it back to Tom, and we're going to figure out who wins the most creative.
Yes. So whenever that poll is ready of the winner of the winners of the first 2 polls that we had, of the first polls ready to go head to head, whenever that poll is ready, I think we'd be ready to distribute that to all of the attendees. There we go. All right, great. Well, I hope that everyone had the chance to vote. Thank you for voting for for the most creative award. And now at this point, we will wait for the judges. We will wait for them to come back as we will announce the most creative award along with the rest of the prizes as well. So now we will wait for the judges to come back so we can have the final prize presentations. Thank you for participating in the vote, and we hope you enjoyed the vote as well as the raffle.
I have to do that stupid worksheet. I might just ask someone for answers. But I feel bad because the same girl that I want to ask for answers
Oh, Maria, I
already
think
helped me with
you're
them.
on, your audio's on. All right, thanks. But in the meantime, we'll be waiting here for the judges to come back. So thanks everyone for waiting and for participating today. It's a very exciting time. Happy Sunday.
And everybody, thank you for your patience. Thanks for sticking around. We think that the judges should be back soon to present. All right, awesome. Thanks everyone for sticking around. Thanks for the patience. It looks like the judges are rolling back in, so we should be able to get started with the final prize presentations momentarily.
Okay, I think we have all of our judges back. Welcome everyone, and thank you so much. While we were deliberating, I also saw tons of polling going on. And so I just want to let you know that before we kick things off, that obviously there were a lot of great ideas today, and not every idea can win a prize today. We do, though, have the ability to help to implement some of these ideas that maybe haven't won. And then I just want to let everyone know that any of these ideas are also eligible for the different categories that we have for Shark Tank, which is actually on Thursday. So if you want to take any of these ideas forward and maybe win some more money towards these ideas, please know that there's the opportunity to do so then. Well, I'd actually like to start with the most creative idea award that you guys have been voting on. And this award wins $250. And that award goes to dun, 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 Allie, Caitlin, Julia, and Carter. Congratulations. Nice job, guys. Also, for the third prize, or actually before I get to the third prize, there was one award that we wanted, there was one idea rather that the judges really loved and felt that the two presenters really put a lot of time in and felt that the idea was implementable. And these presenters will be receiving a small nominal prize from me, and I'll reach out to you afterwards about this. And that idea goes to, and that award goes to Fabiola and Victoria. So congratulations, guys. Third place, you're welcome. Good work. And I love that movie night's coming. I like the idea of tiki torches. Third place goes to our most creative idea award, and that is Allie, Caitlin, Julia, and Carter. Congratulations, guys. You guys win $500. Actually, all together, you win $750. For second place, which is $750, that award goes to Ella, Britt, and Connor. Congratulations, guys. And our first place, this idea was really well presented, and the judges agree that in order for it to be implemented, that the team would have to work very closely with Michelle Murray and her team to make sure that it's implemented in the way that makes sense for us on campus. So just know that the idea was really well presented, but there will need to be some tweaks to it. And this first place of $1,000 goes to Sasha and Nick. Congratulations, guys. Really, really nice job to everyone. And thank you to our judges for all of your time and spending your afternoon with us with these great ideas. I will reach out to individual teams that maybe did not win, but I feel we can help to implement your idea. Also, feel free to reach out at any time to me if you want to walk through your idea and whether or not we can find ways to implement it. And if you're interested in Shark Tank and winning more money or helping to bring your idea to campus, feel free to reach out to Tom or Marianne, for our deadline to sign up is on Tuesday at noon. With that, thank you so much for your time, everyone, on a Sunday. Please, please know I'm very proud of all these ideas, and thank you for all your hard work, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought that went well.
I want to make sure. Can we pause recording and live?